Nelson Chamisa and the Triple C seems to have been played by Killer Zivu and other people who seem to be cheering him on during the 2023 elections. There is a tweet of Killer Zivu, and one of the things that he said that he is now back into ZANU PF. And Hopewell Chin'ono has interpreted this to say Triple C were played by people who looked like they are pro-CCC, yet they are just trying to earn trust from the opposition. According to Hopewell Chin'ono, this propaganda was used by Wikineo Chivayo, who befriended the late Morgan Tsvangirai, and because he was working in the intelligence, he warned Morgan Tsvangirai that if he stayed in the country, they were going to kill him. And in the end, Morgan Tsvangirai had to flee the country. And this is what he said on one of the videos that was uploaded by Zico.
Then in 2008, something happened, which I've never seen reported, but I want to say it today. ZANU PF has always been adept at using counterintelligence, using people. So what they do is when they use counterintelligence, they will go to an opposition political leader and they will give information to somebody. This person will give you 9 stories about what's happening, and these 9 stories will be correct, but they will be of no relevance at all. So unogona ngozi mdara mangwana pachadzingwa ningi nangoti ndifana kukudzai. And so Morgan Tsvangirai then became attached to these people. He thought, vafana vangu. One such person was Wikineo Chivayo. Wikineo Chivayo is the one who went to Morgan Tsvangirai in 2008 and said to mdara muda kureyo oimari rovai pasi. But what had actually happened is that the state, the ZANU PF machinery, was afraid that if Morgan Tsvangirai had stayed in the country, people could have mobilized around him, rejected what ZANU PF was trying to do with the results, and go to the streets and just make the country ungovernable. Because for the first time, Robert Mugabe had lost, and he had accepted that he had lost. But he had played around with the numbers to say, I've not lost enough for you to become president. So Morgan Tsvangirai, against the advice of so many people, I remember at that time, people like Ibo Mandaza were saying to him, you can't go. But he said, no, information, and that's how he left the country. When Morgan Tsvangirai came back, we got an exclusive. That time I was a journalist with ITV News, covering Zimbabwe amongst other countries. And I got an exclusive to fly with Morgan Tsvangirai back for the first time, coming back to form a government, but to finish off the talks and to formalize them under President Thabo Mbeki of South Africa. And so I flew to South Africa at the instigation of my boss, Tim Singleton, who's now the head of news at Sky News. And I got to South Africa, and Morgan Tsvangirai at that time was very good friends and being assisted by Strive Masiwa, who at the time owned the Daily News and of course owned Econet as well. I remember when we were flying out, Jameson Timber flew in into OR Tambo, and we met him in the diplomatic lounge. And he said, Mdara, what kunduraya? That's what Jameson Timber said. At least he's alive to confirm this story. And I was amazed because I could see that counterintelligence had been used, they'd been infiltrated, and they were given information such that the main pillars around Morgan Tsvangirai, Jameson Timber, Tendai Biti at the time are afraid, and they are put on the run so that the system can do what it wants to do.
Hopewell Chin'ono was speaking about this during one of the Twitter space that was hosted by Uncle Belts.
even though he was partly to blame because he ran away from victory. If he had stuck and not run away to Botswana, he would have been president in June 2008. But he ran away. This fear of death among the opposition in Zimbabwe is sickening. You know, I remember seeing Morgan Tsvangira the day after the election when he had clearly won, and we knew he had won. And we had called a meeting to confront the SADC observer mission led by Angola at that time. And Morgan could not be found. Morgan had run away to the South African embassy.
Imagine.
So we had to phone the ambassador, very close friend of ours, Makalima. And Makalima made Morgan available for the meeting. I took Morgan through Rainbow Towers, through the back entrance. And after the first flight of stairs, he stopped. He says, "Ibo, aren't you scared?" Scared of what? Of being killed. I say, "Morgan, are you scared to be killed?" Huh? I took his hand and I ran up with him. I said, we got to the meeting and he fell asleep in the meeting. And the next morning he was off to Botswana. I had to come here to fetch Biti. Biti also ran away to Cape Town. So the whole opposition ran away to run away from victory. There's a problem, huh, with that opposition movement you're talking about. Serious problem.
Tell me what you think about this. Do you think that opposition are too naive and are too blind to understand the power dynamics and how intelligence works and how what is called decoy intelligence? And this also was confirmed by the Babajukwa, who is in the form of Edmund Kuzai, confirmed this in the 2018 elections that this is what happened during the 2008. He was well aware of this. And these people, they do this. Look at what is happening with Jonathan Moyo. He earned the trust of the opposition and they pulled him in. And once he was now inside, he could know all their ins and outs. That's why he pulled out the guy, Sengezo Chabangu, into the opposition with no problem. So, maybe this is a lesson to the opposition that you don't need to trust everyone that tries to sing the same tune as you are. And maybe they need to stop just trusting anyone, because the people that they trusted in the past are the ones that betrayed them. But tell me what you think about this theory by Hopewell Chin'ono.